Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you make your drum loops tighter and more controlled in Ableton Live without losing the high-end energy. We will cover the classic method that most people use, and afterwards I will show you a second method that even preserves more character of the original sound while also keeping more high-end energy. I already prepared a loop that we're going to work with today. Let me show you how it sounds. So, as you heard, it has some nice texture and the energy is right, but it feels a bit loose at the moment. The transients are not really popping out. The goal is simple: make it tighter and rhythmically a bit more controlled without losing the high-end energy and character, of course. Let's start with the classic method that most of you may know. You click on the loop, then you go down to warp algorithm and you choose beats. Then in the preserve section you select transients, and we're gonna go for the forward arrow mode. Now let's play the sample and reduce the amount that you can see here, and you can hear the loop getting tighter and tighter and more transient focused. It works and it's a pretty fast way to do it, and which is cool. The problem is, of course, we'll lose a lot of high-end information, and also the character of the sample is a bit lost because now it's very plucky and a bit far away from the original sound we got at the beginning. Sometimes that's what you want, of course, but in this case I feel like we need to go with the second method that gives us more high-end information using multiband dynamics in Ableton Live. First, we're going to copy the loop and we're going to put it on a normal audio track again. Then we open up an audio effect rack on that track. Inside the rack, the first thing we're going to drop is multiband dynamics. You find it in the library under audio effects. Quick explaining before we touch any knobs here. Multiband dynamics splits the signals into 3 different areas, as you can see here: low, mid and high, and let us process basically each one differently, which is nice. The whole point of this method is, of course, that you don't got one global compressor that is squashing everything, but we treat each band on its own. First step, we set crossover points so we know which frequencies we're working on. The low mid crossover button sits here, and it's at 120 Hz at the moment, but we're gonna pull that way down to 30 Hz. That basically takes the low band out of the equation and lets the mid band cover the whole body of the loop. Now let's focus on the high band first. You can see that each band has a below threshold and a above threshold. Signals at or below the below threshold are actually being processed by the below section, while signals above the above threshold are processed by the above section, obviously. And everything in between is basically getting ignored. We set both thresholds for the high band at -4 dB. Below threshold -4 dB, above threshold -4 dB. Now let's get to the interesting part, the below ratio, which you find here. The point here is a ratio above 1 gives you downward expansion, which means quiet stuff gets quieter, and a ratio below 1 gives you an upward compression, which means that quiet stuff gets actually louder. If you have the ratio at 1, nothing really happens. For the high band, we're going to pull the below ratio all the way down to round about 2.05 while playing the sample so you hear the difference. Okay, you heard the difference already and how the loop changed while I dragged down the below ratio. That's actually really cool, but we're still not finished. Next up, the mid band section. Below threshold goes to -7.5 dB. And above threshold goes to 7.25, basically more or less the same level. And the below ratio, same here, we're going to drag it down again while playing the loop to around about 0.25. Okay, the sample changed a lot already. Let me just bypass multiband dynamics for a second so you can hear actually the difference between before and after. You can hear already, it's tighter, it's cleaner, and we have way more control over the loudness of every single band. But we got still some things missing. First of all, we pulled a lot of energy out of the sample, and we lost a lot of loudness, of course. And to bring that up again, we're gonna use the output gain and put it around 8 dB to compensate. And I know some of you might already ask, isn't the processing a bit too heavy at the moment? And you're right. To get a nice blend between the super clean processed version that we built now and the original character of the loop, we use the amount knob, which is basically a dry and wet button. Let me pull the amount down from 100 until we feel the blend is right while playing the loop. For this loop, somewhere around 35% to 40%, at least in my opinion, sits really nice. And that's basically the last thing we did with the multiband dynamics here. A last step, just to make sure that the sound doesn't clip at any point, we're gonna place a glue compressor after the multiband dynamics as a soft clip safety net, basically, just to catch some peaks and keep the loop controlled. Okay, let's do a quick recap and compare the methods side by side, starting by the original sample sound. Okay, now method 1, beats warp with transient preserve, quick and straightforward, but loses a bit of high-end energy. And multiband dynamics plus glue compressor, more tightness, more control, and actually more character actually preserved. Okay, nice. Please remember one thing. It depends on the sound that you are using actually if you want to use method 1 or method 2. Because at the end of the day, every project is different, so every method needs to be fitting for the sample you're using or working with. One last point, if you actually enjoyed method 2, I got something for you. We actually put together a rack that maps the whole chain to 4 macro knobs, which you can see here. It's part of Rack Attack Volume 2, and it's free to download, and you can find the download link in the description down below. So now you know how you can use both of the methods straight from scratch in Ableton Live. Or just get the rack from Rack Attack Volume 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name's ODMP, see you in the next one. Bye.